Today we will learn about equipment grounding. What is equipment grounding? So first we will see the definition of equipment grounding. Definition is the process of connecting non-current carrying metal parts of the electrical equipment to the earth in such a way that in case of insulation failure the enclosure effectively remains at the earth potential is called equipment grounding. Means suppose this is a non-current carrying metal part which is connected to the ground so that in case of any insulation failure or any failure it doesn't affect to the any other parts or any human is known as equipment grounding. Okay, so what we have to remember in the equipment grounding, this metal enclosure is connected to the earth is known as equipment grounding. So it is divided into three parts. First is ungrounded enclosure, second is enclosure connected to the neutral wire, third is ground wire is connected to the enclosure. So equipment grounding has three types. First is enclosure connected to the neutral wire, second one is underground enclosure, and third is ground wire connected to the enclosure. Now we will see every types one by one in detail. Now we will see the first type of grounding. So first is ungrounded enclosure. So you can see the diagram of the ungrounded enclosure. Ungrounded means there is no grounded wire, so it is named as ungrounded enclosure. So you can see in the diagram the current IL flowing through the line. Here you can see the metal enclosure and neutral wire. So in this type what happen, if the system function correctly, there is nothing any type of failure, so it will the motor will function properly. But if the winding insulation become faulty, what will happen here, the value of the Re will decreases, will become low, due to which the current will flow through this human body and it will get shock. Okay, so ungrounded enclosure means if the system is okay, if there is no fault, it will be operate properly. But if the insulation winding, if the winding insulation become faulty, the value of Re drops, due to which it will flow through the human body and it will get shock. So this is an ungrounded enclosure. In the previous type we have seen what is happening, that if the fault occurs, human gets shocked. So to overcome that problem, what we will do, we are connecting the enclosure to the grounded neutral. As you can see here, the wire is connected to the neutral. So what will happen here, if there is a fault, the ground wire, the leakage current will flow through this neutral wire, due to which human will not get shock. Okay, no one will experience any electric shock. So what is enclosure connected to the neutral wire means, the enclosure is connected to the neutral wire. Okay, so there is a problem in this type, is that if the switch is connected to the neutral wire, so what will happen, there is a current flowing through the motor as well. So this is the main drawback of this type, is that if the neutral wire, if there is a switch is connected to the neutral wire, if it is on or off, there will be a current across the motor, due to will operator get shock. Okay, so to overcome this type of this situation, the third type, we'll see what is happening in the third type. Okay, so previously we have seen that to overcome the first type we use the second type, and to overcome this board the third type is ground wire connected to the enclosure. So in the first type there is no ground wire. In second type the enclosure is connected to the neutral wire, but in the third type what is happening, the enclosure is connected to the ground, due to which if any fault occurs the motor will be safe and operator will not get any shock. The current will directly go from to the enclosure to the ground. Okay, so this is there. So these are the three types of grounding. We have seen the first, second and third. Hopefully you understand all the types and the details about the equipment grounding.